gonna try to push the Corvette in. It's just not wanting to start right now. It's being a brat. It's not gonna want to start until spring. It's really cold out here. That's all right. We gotta keep the baby nice and happy. So let's push her in quick. Good thing she doesn't weigh a lot. Alright, what's up guys? We got some more goodies in the mail today. We gotta open that. And I gotta explain what I got here. But we'll open this first before I get to that. So, as you know, I have been trying to find a decent setup to get the exhaust done because I can't make up my mind what I want to do. I know I don't want to go back and underneath the truck. At least for a minute I thought I wanted to go back to doing that, but I made up my mind we're not gonna go back underneath the truck. We're going out the hood, but I couldn't figure out if I wanted to bring these to my fabricator and have them screw with these and weld in the new O2 bungs for the sensors, or if I wanted to just give them one of these down pipes here with the bungs already in them and then maybe bend this to where it'll fit and do a full 90 where the turbo's at. I couldn't make up my mind. So I went with this. I bought these. They were about 45 bucks each side. So I bought a couple of them, and I'm hoping, according to the picture online, they're pretty sharp 90-degree angles, so that it should fit here with the little amount of room I have. So let's open this up and hope to God it works, because I really don't want to bring my fabricator one of these pipes and be like, hey, yeah, make this fit on this, even though you don't know what the truck looks like at all. But yeah, just do it like this because I think that'll work. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's just buy something. We'll bring these to the fabricator and have them just weld the bungs in and be done. All right, this is a pretty sharp bend here. They're 3-inch inner diameter, so let's hope this fits on here. All right, it fits perfectly. The diameter was measured correctly. Everything's good there, but it is hitting the hose over here. So we're definitely gonna have to wrap this with heat wrap and possibly loosen this bolt here on the wastegate and the cold side down there and crank the turbo this way a little bit. That way it may not hit the radiator hose. I really don't like the way this radiator hose is set up. It looks really ugly now with all this wrap on here. I may just have it redone with hard lines possibly, but this is all just a rough draft. This build that we're doing this winter is all just rough draft, turbo kit, leaving the engine the way it is, the way it came when I bought the truck, and you know, bolting a turbo kit on a fuel system and getting it tuned on low boost. And we're gonna see how it runs with the 4L60 trans. And we're gonna see how it does, have fun with it for a spring, maybe all summer, see how long the transmission lasts. And then we'll be modifying and upgrading everything. I don't want this ugly intake. I wanna do a Holley intake. I wanna do a better transmission. I wanna do better wheel and tire setup. I mean, everything's gonna be eventually upgraded something better, but I don't want this to be a 2-3-year-old project just to get it running the first time. So that's the idea with this build, if I haven't filled anyone in with that before. So we're gonna make this work. That'll actually work really well. This side will be more than good because there's plenty of space on this side. So I am going to obviously cut the V-band on top, about right there, because that's about where the hood will come down. So it won't be too obnoxious to where there's a giant pipe coming out of the hood, but it also won't be too short to where there's fumes getting underneath the hood into engine bay. So I love it. I'm glad these turned out that way. It was definitely worth the 85 bucks altogether shipping. It's a very tight 90 degree, so, and my clamps will work with that too. I like that these are already welded on here and ready to go. So we will bring these to the fabricator and get the O2s welded in on both sides here, and then I'm not exactly sure which side I want the boost, or not the boost cage, the wideband to go in. Probably this side, just because I can hide the wires in along here and go through the firewall right there instead of having to reach around and go to that side. So I might as well just do this side. It's probably gonna work best. So I need to explain what I got over here. So my boss has had this old plow truck sitting around for years and years, and the frame was all rusted. The rear end was making some noise, and it just needed to be thrown away. It needed to be taken to the junkyard. So I asked him a few months ago if he wanted to sell it, I would buy it, and he wasn't really sure on it. Well, he finally wants to make space at the shop and get rid of it. So we made a deal on giving it to the junkyard and how much money they'd give him for the truck complete rather than the truck without a drivetrain. And so I made it worth his while to pay him for the drivetrain, and then he'd still get a lot of money from the junkyard for just the body itself. So what I did, it was an 03, same year as this, 2500 HD. So obviously it had the 4L80 trans, which is exactly what I want to put into this when this transmission goes out. Because everyone knows the half-ton Chevy transmissions, they just aren't worth it. So what I did, I took the drivetrain out, I took the engine and tranny out. It's a 6-liter Gen 3, and I pretty much took the whole accessory system here. I'm obviously gonna ditch the AC compressor. It's probably shot anyways. I don't care about that. Water pump I threw away. It was pretty rotted. Alternator was a good upgrade to keep. I think it's the same alternator. I wish I wouldn't have bought the upgraded alternator for this, because if I would have known I was gonna get this, I would have just used the alternator off this on here, but whatever, we got a spare, I guess. The power steering pump, I think I left that at work. There's a lot of parts I left at work for the trucks there I'm not gonna need here. I left the battery, left hoses, the belt, everything that I'll probably need on some work trucks. And then also I got all the idlers, thermostat. I took off the water pump. So yeah, we got a 6-liter here. It's gonna be a nice project for this winter. I'm gonna clean it all up, pull the heads off, put new gaskets on everything, redo the springs and the rockers, and clean everything up really good, because it's been sitting for probably, other than the time we moved it from one shop to the other last year, it's probably been sitting since 2019 maybe. It needs some love for sure. This is probably the second best part of all this crap that I got. The best obviously is what I actually need someday in this truck. The 4L80 transmission, which is probably one of the best transmissions you can put in a street truck, regular cab short bed setup. The only thing I gotta figure out still is if I want to just put this all together and swap the whole engine and tranny out of this truck and replace it with this and put all the goodies off that on here, or if I want to just, you know, if the motor survives this summer, which it will because I'm not going to be running too much boost in it, just keep the 5.3 with the turbo kit in there and then replace the transmission with the one that's in there now, because the transmission might not last this year. I know the engine will last this coming summer because we're not going to be running a whole lot of boost in it anyways, but that transmission is not going to be happy. So throughout this 2025 spring summer, we're going to run it as long as we can until that transmission goes out. And if we have to swap this in the middle of summer, we'll do that. If it lasts all year the way it is, we'll wait till next winter to put this in. But I'm gonna need to configure this whole deal because this whole setup came out of a 4-wheel drive system that has the manual floor shifter, where mine's electric. So I'm going to probably have to reuse my transfer case out of this truck. And so if I end up doing that, I'm probably gonna sell this transfer case on Marketplace or something. I really don't wanna get rid of the electronic. I like the buttons and everything for the 4-wheel drive. So, but we'll see. The easiest way is going to be just to put this in, get an adapter to adapt to my transfer case that's in the truck already, and then get a custom drive shaft front and rear, most likely. So got all these goodies for a really good deal. It was a lot of work to get all this out in such a short period of time, but it'll be worth it. Unless we're running 900 plus horsepower, I mean, this is gonna last and take all the power. So we got one more thing, one more surprise that I got off this truck before I let the junkyard guy come and get it. Notice my headlights. They're kind of hazy. And I don't mind that at all. It's not a perfect truck. but the ones on this plow truck were like brand new looking. So I had to snag them off before the guy took them to the junkyard. So I may swap those out, or maybe I'll sell them along with that transfer case. We'll see. But we got a lot of goodies. We got to get these on, get those measured out to where we want the bungs welded on. We got new headlights. We got a whole backup drivetrain for the truck for the future. So who knows, maybe this 5.3 won't like the boost, and maybe it had a harder past life than I know of, and that nitrous might have tired this motor out to the point where we got to put the 6-liter in this coming summer. Who knows? So we'll see. All right, let's get back to it. We got to do some wiring. We got to get the battery wired up. We're leaving town tomorrow. We got Thanksgiving a couple hours away, but we'll get back to it on Sunday. I'll see you guys then. All right, guys, now that I filled you in with what I bought, bunch of spare parts for the truck eventually. It's time to get prepped for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So gotta do some cleaning. I may end up working in here for a little while. It's getting really cold in here, and I don't know if I want to take the time to insulate the top part of the garage there, and then maybe just throw some towels down along this gap here. And I don't know, this garage is kind of not a lot of faith in this garage. It's gonna be very hard to keep warm even if I tried to put a space heater in here or something. I don't know. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna be doing a little bit of work on here. I'm gonna try to clock the turbo a little bit this way, and then get the hood exit pipe to fit here because it's touching the hose here, so I'm gonna have to make that work. And then all I need to do is get the exhaust bolted on here and fitted, and then get the oil drains tapped into the oil pan for the turbo. That's all I gotta do to fire this thing up. I got you guys all caught up in what I bought. Extra drivetrain for the truck. We'll be going through the motor this winter. Cleaning up the transmission, probably selling the transfer case. I'm not 100% sure yet what I'm going to do about the transfer case that's already in here. We'll see. We'll get all that done and cleaned up, and plan on what we want to do with all of it. So, but for now, have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.